so my name is Jen. Today is Friday, January 29th, 2020. Welcome. If you're new, hi, thanks for stopping by. And if you're returning, thanks for coming back. Just fixing my sleeves. Yeah, so thanks. Hit like and subscribe and hit the bell icon if you would like to be notified when I podcast. Good. I'm thinking of doing some really short shorts. Not sewing shorts, actually doing some short videos, just me sewing or cross-stitching or knitting or whatever it is I'm doing in my day, except for, you know, stuff I don't want you to see. Not me singing in the shower or anything like that. Anyway, hi, how are you? I spent the last 40 minutes recording and then realized that I was out of shot and you only got to see like this much of me, and it was really weird. But I'm here now and I'm happy. So, we have a lot of stuff piled over here. I should not be laughing. I spent a lot of time this morning not showing things. So, there's going to be a lot of cuts in this video, I'm sure, because I've like scattered everything I was meant to show you. If you hear little nails on the floor, it is Blossom. Hello. You want to say hi? No? No, say hi? Okay. Oh. Are you sad? I'll be right back. Right. Hi, I'm back. Let the dog out.
Who let the dogs out?
Anyway, hello. How are you? Are you okay? I hope you had a great week. Yesterday was our 15th wedding anniversary and we got drunk last night on champagne and I feel like crap this morning. Yeah, I don't do it often, so like after 2 glasses I was feeling it. But it was a good day. We had a great day. We ordered in last night because Ian said you cook all the time, so let's just order in. And I was like, oh, okay. So yeah. So it was up to me to order. And it's his anniversary too. And so I ordered KFC because it's his favorite takeaway. So we had Kentucky Fried Chicken on our anniversary. Sad chicken. Sad chicken. Anyway, hi. So that's other than crafting and a little bit of work, and which I don't really talk about on here. It's been a very busy week. Housework, work, and stitching in various forms, and paper crafting. It's been busy. So, I guess we should just get on with that. Felt super awkward, didn't it? Anyway, what do we want to start out with? Let's start out with knitting, because we have a discussion to have. There's a short discussion to be had. I have finished Expecto. I've finished the Expecto mitten. This is from the Magical Knitting Magic Harry Potter book, or whatever it is. Can't remember. Bad podcaster. Anyway, yeah, the Magic Harry Potter knitting book. Yeah, I finished Expecto. I haven't done the thumb, but that seems to be my thing. I don't hem the dresses that I make, and I don't finish thumbs. I will. Now, let's have a discussion. Pretty nice at the top, isn't it? Pretty nice. I don't know if that's focusing correctly, but yeah. So, I took out the mitten that I made prior to this, the Patronum, and I gagged, looked at that. No, I haven't done it right. It's terrible. It's awful. So guess who's got to knit the first mitten again? Yeah. I am not knitting it right away. I can't bear to knit it again straight away. It's driving me mad. Thought of it's driving me mad. So my intention is to give it a couple weeks, finish off those Scary Pumpkin mitts because I'm in a super Halloween-y mood for some reason, which you will see later. And I am going to just toss it. I am going to finish those up. So there you go. Right. So that's the knitting. I did no other knitting. The next thing I guess we should talk about let's break it up. Let's not do stitching. Let's talk about paper crafts. Right, so I'm briefly going to say that everyone who grabs patterns that are free off Pinterest should probably double check to make sure that pattern is actually free and it's not somebody's intellectual property. Now, I am going to show you a papercraft lantern that I made. And I thought, gosh, I'm not doing that right. And this person's not put any directions whatsoever. She's just got this file. And so I thought, no, I should have done this and that and the other thing. And then thought, wait a minute. There's no name on this. There's nothing. I just kind of got caught up in it and thought, oh my God, that's nice. I'm going to do that. So then I started searching around, looking at different lantern patterns, and found it again and thought, oh, okay. And then clicked on it. It was an Etsy link. This was a paid for, which by the way, I have now paid for, file. And yeah, I immediately reported this person to, because I saved it in one of my boards, I reported this person to Etsy saying, but anyways, it's the cutest little thing ever, and I will put a link in the description bar below to the designer of this file. And so if you want to start paper crafting, or you know, it's something that you want to do, yeah, just go help the woman out. Yeah. And I might insert some video at some point of this lit up in a dark space so you can see what the red tissue paper looks like. But as I suspected, there's a couple ways to put the tissue in. One is to cut the actual pattern out of the tissue paper and just line it with the tissue paper, or like I thought, cut two of them out exactly the same and wedge the tissue paper between the two. And then, yeah, but it's really cute, isn't it? The second paper crafting thing I made was from RavensBlight, which is free and honest and on their website. And I made the first house in the miniature haunted house, haunted village. And this is what it looks like. It's amazing. I love it so much. It's so cute. But yeah. It's got a little fence around the outside. And I did this wrong, just letting you know. You see those little white tabs because I did this wrong. I didn't read the directions correctly. It's got a little stone base. It's called the tower house, the greenhouse. And everything is all the way around. And it's got that little tree. I love it. So I'm going to have to come up with some kind of board to set this on because I really want it to be a display on the new side board shelves that we're putting in the lounge as soon as this coronavirus stuff's over and we can have people in to actually do some things. So that's paper crafting for this week. Again, treble check what you're getting off Pinterest that you think is for free, but it might not be free. So just check. I did learn through this after I Googled it a few times that Russia doesn't have any copyright laws, so there's a lot of like Russian cross-stitchers who post everything they buy, every magazine, you know, every free pattern. So, you know, kind of hang away from those if, you know, don't use them because, you know, that's not cool. I mean, I'm going to show you a cross-stitch pattern in a minute that I had to buy secondhand. It's a prairie schooler, but I don't mind. I'd rather pay, you know, I don't mind sharing, but not globally, if you know what I mean. Anyway, what's next? Right, cross stitch. I guess cross stitch is next. I'm looking over here because that's where all my stuff is right now. The first thing I will show you is the Halloween cross stitch that I started. Now, I only did like 30 stitches on the cottage. I'm just not into it right now. I thought I would be as soon as Christmas was over, but I wasn't. I got such a Halloween bug this week. I mean, like a Halloween bug. Just like wanted to do everything spooky. So I went through the container box up there that I keep all of my cross stitch patterns in, and my Ada, all my thread, and every cross stitch accoutrement that I own. And speaking of which, 1 second. And I found a pattern from Rovaris. I don't know. I'm missing, where'd you go? There you are. Hang on. There we go. And it is the October 31st sampler with the alphabet in it. And it says 1692, October 31st. So that's the finished version of it. And they actually included the little pentagram that goes just below the 31. So that was really nice. And so I started this yesterday. I am using 310, which is black. Sorry. And 921, which is the orange that I'm using. And I'm nearly done because it's all black after this. But yeah, so this is the orange DMC. Again, that's 921. And no, black is black. It's always 310. And yeah, so started it yesterday. It was a very quiet day because of our anniversary, so not much going on here. And I managed to get the left-hand side of the pumpkin done. So yeah, I'm super, super happy with that. Stitched up great. I made a mistake, but I snipped the stitch and then restitched the 2 stitches that came before that because I went 1 stitch too far. So you can't really tell where it's happened, which is good. Yeah. But yeah, you can't tell. No? No, you can't tell. So anyway, I'm just using one of my needle minders. It's a moon. I don't even know if it'll show up. So I'm going to show this, but I might cut this bit out. Because I don't know how bright it is. But yeah, there you go. Anyway, yeah, that's the pin that's here is what I did to mark the center square. So yeah, so I'm working on that, which is really cool. I have a frame for that. When I worked on my Tiny Modernness Ouija Out, I bought a frame, but it was too small. And I got that other frame and that I showed you last week that I decoupaged. And so I'm using the smaller frame for this. This will fit within that. The mat, the black mat, came yesterday, day before yesterday for that frame. So I can get this mounted. This I'm not going to mount with matting board. I'm so nervous about cutting that, by the way, because this is like measure twice, measure thrice, cut once, because that's all the cuts I'm going to get out of it. So I have to make sure it's perfect, you know, just right. Yeah, but this one I am going to mount in that frame, but I'm going to use a fabric background on the board, so that will, you know, not being lazy, but that will make that so much easier to mount. So I think I am going to use, oh, it's not down here. I have a black check cotton, black and white checks. So I'm going to mount that behind that, I think. Unless I put it up to it and it looks like that. Oh, speaking of which, anybody who cross stitches, Kim, yeah, you or Pixie, or anybody else who's watching who, you know, if you're watching and you're a cross stitcher, could you just put your name below so I can ask you questions, or put a link to some of your work so I can see all of your stuff. So yeah, Kim and Pixie, that's all I know right now. Can I tea-dye Ada after I've stitched on it? That's my question. Is that possible? I don't care if the orange gets darker or anything like that. I don't care. And the black is just black anyway. But I want to know if I can do that because I really don't want to tear all this out and restart it. And yeah. So if you could let me know, I'd really appreciate it. Thank you. Oh, another thing I just wanted to mention very briefly. Pattern. I have photocopied that pattern. and I know you're not supposed to do that, so I'll rip it up after, but I didn't want to mark on the actual pattern in case I ever want to sell it. So if that's something that you do, cool. I just was letting everybody know, if you only are going to make something once, because I will only make that one time, and then I'm going to sell the pattern. Obviously without the pentagram, because I'm going to use that. But if you want to do that, that's how I get past that. I have to mark off my rows when I'm done stitching them, or I lose my way. I just do. So yeah, so that is that. That is the cross stitch that I'm going to show you right now. I have other cross stitch that I have not begun, but will do. Right, so what's next? I've done cross stitch, I've done knitting, I've done paper craft. I guess I'll show you the sewing. I am going to break here, and I will be back in a second to show you what I have sewn this week. I will be behind the camera and not in front of it. I will describe what I am looking at and show you patterns and things. But yeah, I need to be behind the camera for this. Okay, I'll be right back. Hi, welcome back. So this is the McCall's M7349. I will put a picture of that right here. And this dress is made from a French terry, but it's a very lightweight French terry. What can I say about it? I really love the fabric. I mean, this dress is amazing. It fits amazing. It kind of gives you that, you actually have a waist effect. The pattern itself, it was fairly straightforward. It was definitely a lot of pieces. There's some pieces that are cut on the fold. I think it was the flare at the bottom that, basically used a lot of fabric. Otherwise, if it had been pretty straight, like not A-line, but not quite so flouncy, I probably could have had enough fabric left over to make a t-shirt, but I didn't. I did lengthen the skirt at the bottom because I didn't like how short it was. Yeah, I mean, the construction of it was fairly easy. I was really surprised to find that there were darts in the top of the shoulders, but after I did it, I kind of got why there are darts in the shoulders. It's basically just to pull it in around the neck. Yeah, it's a beautiful thing. I mean, I shouldn't say that because I sewed it. And it's not quite as beautiful as it could be because, as usual, I have not hemmed the sleeves or the skirt bottom, but hemming is on my radar for this week. I have a few things that I need to get hemmed, and so I'll get on that. But yeah, I mean, it is a pretty little thing, and I am looking forward to wearing it this summer around my house with sandals or flats. Yeah, I really like this pattern, and I will make another one of these. So there you go. Okay, for our second garment, we have the 3-in-1 jumpsuit by Thread Count Patterns. This came with my Simply Sewing magazine. I used that plush cotton French terry, sort of very lightweight, again, very lightweight fabric with the flamingos obviously on it. This is supposed to be for, like, an actual jumpsuit that you can wear out or just wear around the house, but I turned it into pajamas with this fabric, and I have slept in these, and it is amazing. The fabric is nice, the fit is nice. I mean, I was comfy, and yeah, I would totally buy this fabric again. I would totally make this pattern again. You can make it with, and I have already put a picture of the pattern, but you can make it with cuffs on the long legs. You can make it just a straight leg, or you can do what I did here and just turn it into shorts that you can wear around the house. The pockets are amazing on this. It was really difficult to sew with this fabric, I won't lie. It flopped around, and I again constructed this mostly with my my serger. The bottom, if you notice the hem on the in the pajamas themselves, where's my finger? Right here. I use my serger to do that. There's a name for this. I can't remember what they called it. But anyways, it's supposed to look wavy, which it actually worked and did. So I really liked that. I didn't have to hem again. Thank God. So this is completely done, this. I was short on elastic. I won't lie. I did not. I had enough elastic to do the collar at the right width, and that is underpants elastic in there. The soft stuff. I did have enough of this. I hate to say this because I'm going to sound terrible, but I got this cheap elastic in Lidl back in the day when you could actually go out to a shop. And I had 2 pieces of that, which I had to then stitch together. Basically placing like a one piece of elastic over the other and then knitting it a square, or stitching a square around the 2 joined pieces. Because I didn't think I had enough for the waist, but I did. And so I cut that, and that piece never even got inserted anyway. So, but yeah, it does. What I guess I should have done is evened out the elastic in the waist and then stitched at the sides across it, so it didn't, shift. But it does. But it's the casing for it is built right into the allowance, the seam allowance, and the casing at the top is not. Basically, you create that. So what I did was I stitched around the upper edge of the neck casing with my serger and then folded that under, and then took my trusty little hem ruler and measured the 3/4 inches, folding under the serger edge, which was about a little less than 1/4 inch on the edge to finish the inside of the neck. Would I recommend this pattern? I would definitely recommend this pattern. If you can get your hands on it, do it. I really, 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 I know I've said that once, but I really enjoyed sewing this. I will be trying to find some more fabric of the same ilk and making myself another pair of pajamas out of it because I really love it. Although I must say I do look like a little pink cupcake in it. A woman my size should probably not wear pink flamingos on a pink background. Anyway, yeah, so pleased. That's my sewing for the week. And we'll be right back. Hi, good morning. It is now Saturday, the 30th of January, 2021. I am definitely the next day, and we had some technical problems yesterday. Oh my God, and no makeup obviously today because, yeah, it's Saturday morning and I should be doing stuff like making breakfast, which I will do after. Anyway, yeah, so I got the bulk of the podcast recorded, and then everything just went haywire. And even though I recorded in landscape, my phone said no, it isn't, it's in portrait, and I was like, no it's not, and my phone was like, yes it is, and my computer's like, no it's not. Yeah, big argument in my office yesterday. Anyway, I'm in a different spot, obviously in my old spot, and I just wanted to come back. Sorry, I got remote controls and stuff everywhere. I'm just trying to get to my coffee. No, I have not been to Starbucks. And no, I'm not sponsored by Starbucks. I just made myself a coffee and put it in the travel mug this morning. But I wanted to just come back and show you some things. Now yesterday, we talked about the wool for the interview with the vampire shawl. And yesterday, if you had been here, or it had gone right, I should say, you would have seen the wool as a chantilly color, so very creamy kind of color. But unfortunately, it needed to be dyed because, as I explained yesterday, which you did not get to see, I ordered it from West Yorkshire Spinners, and I ordered the Exquisite, which is a Falklands wool with mulberry silk, and that's what their label looks like. Yeah. I think it was reasonably priced. It was 14 something a skein, but it's mulberry silk, and yeah, so that's fine. It's a 4-ply wool. This is has obviously been dyed from the cream. I was trying to get a a redder tone. This is kind of purpley red together. But I dyed 2 skeins of this up yesterday in the same pot, and although it looks significantly different, it's not really. I guess we'll see that when we start to knit with it, but this isn't still quite dry, so I'm going to have to take it out, put it back onto its heated radiator and try to dry it. But yes, this is what I ended up with, and what are you gonna do? This went into the dye pot 3 times because wasn't satisfied 1, wasn't satisfied 2, and 3 was done. I was like, that's good enough, because I'm like out of red dye, and I was out of vinegar as well. So anyway, yeah, there you go. West Yorkshire Spinners, exquisite. I would recommend this. It's super soft and super smooth and not itchy at all. So there you go. Also, the rest of the beads for the shawl came this week. So these are 4mm 6/0, and they are silver lined. So that's gonna be super cool. I'm looking forward to doing this. I really am. I know in the middle of it I'm gonna be going, God, I wish this was over. But right now I'm super cool with it. The next thing that came, sorry, I need coffee. The next thing that came was this little white box. And inside this little white box is hiding a shearing thread. So this is elastic on a spool. And just briefly, to shear fabric is to gather it in bands. And I don't want to totally get into how this is accomplished on my machine. I watched a few videos. They were the top videos that came up on my search. Here in the UK were not very good. They were not very informative. I had to go down and down, and I had to drill down like 3 pages, I think it was, to find one that I thought was okay. So basically, this is what shearing is. So I don't know, do you want to see my failures first? So my failures were this first row and the second row, and then again on the third and fourth rows. See how they're not gathering? They're not gathering. That's what that looks like on the back. And then I watched a video from a nice lady from Southern United States who actually explained about how this works. And what you do is you wind your bobbin with the shearing thread. So the shearing thread goes in your bobbin case and the regular thread goes in your top. And when you're winding it, you pull it taut. So you put some extra tension on that and you wind the bobbin. And then holding that tension, you put it into the bobbin case and you thread your bobbin through the tension on your machine. And to maintain that. And then you can begin to sew, and this is the result of that. So you can see that stretch. Now my rows aren't perfectly even, so please don't criticize, but yeah, I got the effect that I wanted to get. And this is what the back looks like. So that's what the shearing thread looks like on the back. But yeah, I got my pucker and my gather. So what are my intentions? My intentions are to use that fabric up that I have that's been sitting there for ages, which I will probably show next week, to make a top from Simplicity, but it's like a smock top, but I'm going to put a gathered bust in there. Now, not gathered so it will stretch as much as it will just show this, but just because I like the effect, and it's a very summery thing, and yeah, just throw that over there again. Yeah, so I am going to be getting on that. I might have to redraft that pattern, but I am definitely going to be making that in future. To be honest with you, I could probably use the the pattern top from the jumpsuit to get the same effect, and then just put a gathered bottom on that, as it were. Do you get what I'm saying? One thing that I did learn is that if you want to use a sheared piece of fabric, you need to cut that fabric 10 inches wider than you would normally cut it before you, how do I want to say this is wrong? Okay, so what you need to do is make sure that your fabric is 10 inches wider than it would normally be in order to put the shearing elastic on, because that's kind of the average that it gathers up. Other people have actually said shear the fabric before you cut the pattern out, i.e. shear the fabric, then put the pattern piece on top, and then cut it out. I'm not sure how that would work, in that I would assume that you'd have to mark it, and so just outside or inside the seam, the seam allowance, to make sure that the elastic didn't slip back through the stitch that it was associated with on top. You know, how it would just like pull out or whatever. I don't know. I'm going to do a couple tests and find like a doll's top pattern and see what happens when I do it both ways. So there's a test for you. Anyway, yeah, that is that. I am looking forward to it. That was a super summary, and I really, to be honest with you, if I could get bandana fabric, I would make it out of that, because that's so 1970s and I love it so much. The next thing I'm going to show you is cross stitching. Now, everything that you've seen was ordered, except for the wool, was ordered prior to my commitment last week to not buy anything new. So, yeah, this was ordered before that. Wow. So, cross stitch next. When I was looking through my patterns to find the Halloween pattern for the Riolis, I stumbled across my Black Work Angels pattern by Prairie Schooler. And I have been saying to myself, just do this, they're beautiful. And there's a little story behind these. Over Christmas, I was looking on eBay to get pricing, because I really, really wanted to sell some of my Christmas decorations, ones that weren't familial or, you know, had some special attachment to. And so I was looking for pricing, because, you know, I want to be reasonable and decent, but, you know, want to get what they're worth. And I found, and I know my American friends will know what this is, but I found some of those little gold angels, the one where one's playing a harp and one's playing a violin and one's playing a bass, and there's little choir angels, you know, little short things. I found some of them, and I wanted to put a display on the side of my chimney breast, because my cabinetry will hopefully, if COVID shits the bed and goes away, will be downstairs next year, and I want to have displays on either side of the fireplace. So in order to do that, I thought that I would create a display much like the one that they've put here, and then put my angels on a little like a platform built up with some pine boughs below it playing, and then light it so light's shining up on it. So I have purchased, getting to the point of this, I have purchased the 32 count even weave from Flora Shawl Needlecrafts, and they're on eBay. I don't know if they're anywhere else, but I found them on eBay, so I purchased some of this, and there is enough. I don't know if you can see their label, but I have purchased enough of this to do every one of the angels that are displayed here. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to getting these done. I do want that, and I definitely do need to pare down my Christmas decorations, because my house is just chock-a-block. So anyway, so yeah, those are my purchases. I'm going to put these away. It does call for, these do call for a gold metallic thread, which I am waiting for. Hasn't arrived yet. I think it arrives on my birthday or there and thereabouts. So next week I'll have it. So I might have that to show you next week. But other than that, not a lot going on. I am going to be printing out a new Halloween house right now, as I said yesterday, and I'll be putting that together today. Making breakfast. That's about it. So yeah, I hope you guys have a great weekend, and thanks for stopping by. I really appreciate it. I know I say it sometimes, but not often enough, that, you know, it's really nice that you guys stop by. It's nice that you comment. It's nice that you email. And yeah, if you have any questions, or if you just want to show me what you're working on, please email me. And yeah, I'll get back to you. Okay? Right. I guess I'm going to shove off now. I will talk to you all later. Have a great week. I'll see you. Bye.